for that. I've only had 2 pastors really in my entire life. The second one is my mother. At the age of 15, she was mommy pastor, Pastor Mommy. But prior to my mom becoming my pastor, I only had one. And I'm so grateful tonight that him and his wife and his family, friends are here tonight. And I'm so ecstatic. Just before Pastor Sam comes up to speak to us tonight, I'm going to ask Pastor Cymbala to come up and speak to us. Please, Pastor Cymbala, please.
I didn't know they were going to ask me to say anything, but it's an honor. Oh, my goodness. Did that song move you like it moved me? Let's just put our hands together for the glory of God. Amen. Sitting there, it just dawned on me how incredibly talented he was. Incredibly talented. And all this other talent you see from the kids and the grandkids, it all started with that blessing of God that he put on Joe, right? I mean, musically so talented. And he loved God. He was a trip, but he loved God. I have so many Joe Cortese stories that I won't even start, but I got to tell you one. Because he lacked any social filter sometimes. He was just what you see is what you get. Es lo que es. It is what it is. I went to Argentina one time with him, and he was interpreting for me. And the people that usually, my friend Dan and Paglia couldn't be there for that trip. Whatever happened, it's February, we're in Argentina, and he and I fly down together, and we're going to room together in a tiny room with 2 cots. And that's our little room in this house where the Sorensen family lived. And he's going to interpret for me. And you never knew what he was going to do. You never knew what he would say. And I warned him on that plane. Now, look, there's words that you use in Spanish that you use in Puerto Rico. You cannot use them in Argentina. It's the worst word you could say down there. Please do not use that word. I'm preaching the first night. He's not even 10 minutes into the message. Instead of using the verb to take that I told him they use down there, he uses the other verb, and the entire audience just goes, oh, oh. And I turned to him and I said, Joe, in English, Joe, you said that word. You can't say that word here. No, Brother Jim, okay, I'll take care of it. Don't worry. So within another 10 minutes, he says it again. And now women are crying and people are they don't know what to do. So I turned to him and I said, Joe, I can't go on if you're going to use that word all the time. He said, wait, let me take care of this. And then in Spanish, he tells the whole entire audience, listen, he's upset with me because I used, and then he says that word again. But I want you to know that in Spain, in the dictionary, the Castilian dictionary, that word, and he says it again, and by now, people are going like that. That is the correct word. And I whispered, I will throw you off this platform if you say that word one more time. We were there for 9 days. I won't even go into all the things that happened. I loved him so much. But on the 5th or 6th day, we were there. We still had 4 days left. And it was the afternoon, and this is a number of years ago, and the guys, the pastors that were there, said, do you want to play some volleyball with us, to me? And I said, yeah, I'd like to work out. So Joe went back to the room that we shared together, this tiny little damp room with these 2 cots on either side. And I went out and played volleyball, and it was hot, and I played for a couple hours, and I was sweaty and filthy, and came back, and he's laying in a fetal position on the bed facing the wall. And I just walked in and I said, "Hi, Joe," and there was no answer back. And I'm taking off my shirt, trying to dry myself off, trying to figure out to get the strength to go to take a shower. And I said, "Man, Joe, it's hot out there and I'm tired." And all I hear is like, mm. So I go, "Joe," and I go over to the bed and he's laying there on his cot. He's facing the wall, won't look at me. And I said, "Joe, what's wrong?" Mm. And I went, "Joe, please." And I shook his shoulder, and he turned and he said, "I miss Amy and the girls. I want to go home." It's my interpreter. But you know what? He didn't know how to fake anything. In a day where there's a lot of sham in the pulpit and a lot of sham in gospel music and people are using it as a gig, he didn't even know the meaning of that. He was straight from here, true blue. Whatever his mistakes were, which we all have, and I have more than anyone, he was totally sincere about Jesus Christ. I was once in Lima on that same trip in Lima, Peru, and a guy went up to lead the worship at the end, and I had my eyes closed, or at the beginning of the meeting before, and the guy started, just singing melodically or singing in the spirit or whatever you want to call it, but I guess he must have had his eyes open and was sizing up the crowd while he was doing this. Joe took my shoulder and shook me. He said, "Jim, quick, look up there. That's not the spirit. He's in the flesh. He's in the flesh. He's in the flesh." I said, "Calm down, Joe. Calm down." I'm going to really miss him. That song is one of the most magnificent pieces of music. I don't know the last time I heard anything like that. I just want to say, my wife and I, we count it an honor to be here, and it's an honor to be friends with the Cortese family, and I'm going to miss my friend, but I am so happy. He's with the big choir now. He's using that voice. Let's give God glory. Thank you.